So if you ever have to make any decision in the pharmaceutical industry as a C&Q engineer or C&Q manager, there's two big high-level principles that I use to help me in those decisions. And they are from two ICH guidance, the ICHQ8 and the ICHQ9. So the ICHQ8 tell you that you need to do quality by design and not quality by testing. What does that mean is that you don't want to do a test to make sure something is working, right? You want to build a process and a design to make sure that your equipment or your process will be working. The quality control is there to give the objective evidence that your process is under control. And the ICHQ9 is the quality risk management. And quality risk management is a series of very simple tasks to make sure that you don't put the patient at risk, that you have built a robust process. So how does it work? Well, the first thing you need to do in a quality risk assessment is the risk or the hazard identification, which is really what could go wrong. Then you do a risk analysis, which is how likely is it to go wrong, and the risk evaluation, which is what happens if it goes wrong, what is the severity. Because the definition of risk is risk equal likelihood times severity, likelihood of going wrong and how bad it is when it goes wrong. Then generally you will make that assessment and you will decide whether you accept or not the risk. And if you don't accept the risk, you have a step of risk mitigation, right? Risk reduction, where we're going to put engineering principles in place to reduce the risk of happening. Because generally in the pharmaceutical, especially in the aseptic world, we cannot really reduce the severity of the risk. A non-sterile product will always damage the health of the patient. Then we accept the risk and we go ahead for the process. And there is a very important step which is called risk communication, where we need to record the output of that risk assessment and communicate it to other people that are working together. The other very important part in the communication is to get a feedback on that plan we made of risk mitigation and to make sure that this plan is working. And so we need to review all the events that are existing in our facility or in our process to make sure that the risk didn't materialize. If the risk materializes, that means that our risk reduction is not good enough and we need to go back to it. So really that whole risk or hazard identification and risk evaluation, acceptance, communication and review is what we call quality risk management.